Is you cool? Right here is where you wanna be. As long as you're cool, baby, tell me how you like it, like it, like it, like it. As long as you're cool, here is where you wanna be. As long as you're cool, baby, tell me how you like it, like it, like it.
A Garry Horne a her Peter ha clúiche son Glasgow agus Alba na chóte ag Howe, agus a Hain agus John Lathangie bhí le cútrimach an a bhí léisige talent inatal.
John and I have coached since our boys were in primary 3. So Peter and John's son Stewart came right up through primary 3 with us. We were kind of forced into coaching because of the boys, and we've just kept doing it.
I've been involved since the age of primary 3. Dad took me along. He used to play for the club, so. And then Dad and Garry, Pete Horne as well, a friend, we both came along. So we're both, since primary 3, have played right through. And I don't think I've actually ever played without Dad being a coach, which sounds quite bad, but I have to bite my tongue at times, but we can have an argument when we get back home.
They started as dads who were enthusiastic. They took their kids through the primary, the mini, the midi stuff, and suddenly they realised that not only did they have a good group of guys, but they were actually good coaches, and they progressed through to the first 15, and they've done a fabulous job here. But they've got another group of guys coming in behind them who again are doing a good job and producing kids who understand the game, and they've put a real skill bank into them.
Door op het game mór ag Howe ha sjaun clúiche an tríchrum feichin tos teich gan a skipper.
These guys are just such great ambassadors for the Howe of Fife, and I think they are always visible. They always come back here, and I think it's great. I think that's really good for the club. It's good for the kids to see it. It gives them ambition to see Pete Horne, Chris Fissaro playing for Scotland. I mean, what a thrill! And they can stand and talk to him on a Saturday. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
A clú Howe son clúiche an áca léisige a fastness tresa.
I think we're recognised now that, I mean, some people have said it's the conveyor belt. I wouldn't quite put it as strongly as that, but yeah, I think we do our bit and produce a fair number of age grade players.
I think I was about six years old, and my dad started coaching the primary 3 team, and I pretty much just went down one day and then sort of kicked off from there. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, just loved it. First session, just kept up. My mum and my dad are massive rugby fans, and as I said, as soon as I went down there I loved it, and it was just like the most important thing to me when I was a kid growing up.
You get such good help from everyone round about the club as well, like from the presidents to the first 15 coach. Like the young boys join in with the first 15 training sessions, which great like building step for them to carry on to become better players.
I think it's the fact that like all my best mates are guys that I've played with through Howe of Fife, and guys are playing with their best mates. We get quality coaching, and it's just like going down there, loving rugby with your friends, but also because the coaching's really good, everyone progresses.
We've never been frightened to play young players. We'll put young players into the first 15 because if they're good enough, they're old enough. And I think getting that experience fairly young helps them because they're used to playing pressure games, because we have a lot of pressure games to play.
He takes no rubbish on the pitch. Like if you're not pulling your weight, he'll tell you straight away, which is a great thing. It brings players on a lot, but he's a really good coach to play under. Gets good training sessions done, which leads into us winning matches, which we're doing quite successfully now. So I think he's a really good coach.
A skipper rugby Howe of Fife camas ar a gáil suas fu Fríomh League B ar son a chiad turas Fríomh, agus a panichin móra is fáda, agus far na parca.
We spent about 18 months turning the club into a charity, so we now have charitable status, which helps us to gain funding. We also had to start up a business arm, so we have Howe of Fife as a charity and Howe of Fife Trading. The trading side runs the clubhouse and everything else goes into rugby, and that's the way it is. It makes it easier to get things funded. The new facility we're trying to build is a community facility for the whole of Cooper, for everybody in Cooper, not just Howe of Fife Rugby Club, but the cricket club that's across the park, the tennis club, the football club that sits down there. It's going to be a shared facility for the community of Cooper.
A jois ag rúnere a clubbe Alison Murray gewil féim voorit gurras an ure.
Well, with 250 children each Sunday, and most of our membership is 70% of the membership are children or people under 18. The community now really needs a new facility to accommodate that, and we've got the wherewithal to be able to do that. It's a kind of a thing we want to work together with the other sports groups, with the other users here at the park, and also to try and raise the funding to provide a building for everyone in the community. We intend to include a community cafe. There will be classes and goodness knows all what on all day long and into the evening. So it's actually going to embrace quite a lot of the community, everybody in fact, all abilities.
I'm a capacity building officer with Fife Voluntary Action, and that basically means that we support all kinds of community groups to deliver all kinds of projects, play parks and communities, pots for old folks, lunch clubs, right up to more ambitious projects like the Howe of Fife have. The relationship that brought this started about maybe a year past August, when they had a small group and a plan, a feasibility study, which they then wanted to try to turn into reality. But they needed then to look at their structure. They registered as a charity and, get themselves in a legal position to take forward a project of this size. They're a very able group, they're very committed, very enthusiastic, finding them expert advice, helping them secure funding to just keep taking things forward.
Ha tor tuanich in innertele tors teich de skippe Howe, agus han club gemoer maar farschen gersnach.
The Howe are the centre of this community in many, many ways. I live locally, and a number of times I drive through and I see kids with their Howe tops on. They're at school at Belbaxter, but kicking a rugby ball about. Now that doesn't happen in many places, and I love to see that. Probably the trigger was the youth side that won the Schools Cup and the Youth Cup, Chris Pizarro, Pete Horne, these guys, and since then, huge sort of number of young players who've come through, who are playing out here today, have gone on to pro contracts and playing throughout Scotland. So they deserve a hell of a lot of credit for their youth policy.
It's a great community, from the little ones right through to the adults. It's quite sociable as well. It's nice to see that we're making progress with the future for the youngsters. I think that's the main thing. It's great sociable when you go back to the clubhouse after a game. The boys, you can help the boys with their teas and whatnot. So from the point of view of the community side of it, I've made lots of friends. The children now are getting to know me, the players are getting to know me.
The young people are important in the club. They now make up 70% of the membership. We have to keep them coming in. We have a great connection with Belbaxter High School. They allow us to go in there and play rugby at the weekends. Their pupils are the heart of Howe of Fife Rugby Club. Everybody you see playing here today has come through Belbaxter High School.
I think the club involvement with a school is a massive, massive thing. There's some clubs that work away, there's some schools that work away, but we have to join up. I think the youth label rather than schools and people who play for clubs is massively important. And this example where there's a school just up the road and they've absolutely linked in with the club, and it's a win-win for both. And the main thing is, the main people who benefit are the kids who are getting exposed to the best team sport in the world.
Get dat jo gloeit na cliche er net nation te mesk okri Howe. A hulle tunje ko gaan te deze club kanige David Rollo. Toenig in het van een leeuwen vreugden, maar geet leuge weg Howe.
Can't believe that I've been about for so long. I went in the first year, 1952 it was, I think. I was playing for the Howe of Fife second 15. So I think just progressed from there. The following year I got into first 15, and that was it. That was the start of my career with the Howe of Fife.
Dave Rollo, our most capped player, famous Scottish prop in his generation, British Lions. He was the leader of that farming community that was involved in the club.
Dave helped us a lot. It's just kind of small words to encourage you, and it does. When you realise that someone's played for Scotland in the British Lions, it makes you, you think, I should maybe listen to this guy. He's not speaking nonsense.
David's a great ambassador to the Howe of Fife Rugby Club. It's been his life and his wife's life. It's been, he's been here since he was a boy.
For me, as a farmer, it was an afternoon away from home. Met up with a lot of friends. Didn't get back till Sunday morning sometimes. I still enjoy meeting up with people and what have you. As far as the friendship and the ability to play rugby hasn't changed one little bit.
He's a fervent supporter of the Howe of Fife. You see that today. he's in with the farmers, he's talking to everybody, everybody knows him. He's just a great ambassador. Everybody respects him. To turn up at 80 years old every Saturday to watch his favourite team, superb.
Well, it's great for me to be able to say that I've got two of my second row forwards after that length of time still about yet. We've always been friends. We've known it by both. We're three of all farmers, so we're the same age group. Did the same things. We enjoyed a drink after the game, enjoyed the rugby. We're still enjoying the same thing yet. As I say, nowadays, after 60 years, it's been part of my life, and I don't know what I would have done without it.